this supports me with what I'm endeavoring to do. Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to talk about communicating without words. As human beings, we are extremely complex in so many different ways. We're a chemical factory making vitamins from the sun, a simple example. We convert and break down the food and supplements we consume. We are electrical beings. We communicate within our bodies via electrical signals within our brain, our heart, our limbs. Every cell in our body has a charge. It's different when the cell is healthy and again different when it's diseased. We are transmitters and receivers of energy, healing, and emotions, and so much more. We are influenced by the sun, the moon, the planets, and of course by magnetism of our own planet. In fact, the whole universe influences not only us, but every aspect of our world. The world would not exist without the universe, which we are all part of. So much of the way that we function as humans is reliant on our belief system. Our belief system is a major influence over our thoughts, our emotions, our health, and our relationships with people around us. We receive information through our inbuilt antennae, our receiver. We communicate without words on so many levels. Have you ever walked into a room, looked across at someone, then thought, I feel good about that person? Or was it, that person looks shifty, I don't trust them? Or was it, I've fallen in love? All of this is without words being spoken. Have you spoken to someone over the phone or the internet and picked up a sense of who or what they are? How are we as humans able to communicate without words? Others can read us like a book. Many healers are able to sense and feel who they're working on, feeling the physical or the emotional issues of the client. I've personally experienced sitting in a room while looking at others and picking up their energy and their personal issues. All of this is very much tied to our openness and our belief system. Our belief system allows us to be open to every possibility within our universe. Our belief system is far more than if we are religious. It's greater than any one thing. To believe in every possibility means we have no boundaries. We accept all possibilities. Some only believe if they can see it and touch it. Others believe only what they read in the newspaper, social media, or one-sided views. These individuals miss out on the possibility of the unknown or the unproven. Our belief system allows us to enter the world of all possibilities or none. It allows us to communicate with others. Some time back, I had a heated discussion with a water expert. He in fact worked for one of the water boards, one of the water companies here in the UK. He believed water was water and purified or energized water was tosh. It was rubbish. At that time, my belief was quite different to his. When I drank regular tap water, I could taste the change in energy and impurities in the water. Sure, this water wouldn't kill me. If it did, it would do so slowly. In recent times, they have discovered there is a significant difference to the water. In fact, it's not H2O, it's H3O2. Being denser, has more energy, so more oxygen, and has an electrical charge, which has a greater benefit to our health and well-being. Now, you might wonder why I mention this. Well, I knew there was a difference, but could not prove it. This communication was another example of without words. Something in my innate senses told me the water was different. I knew well before they defined the water as H3O2, we all have innate wisdom from the time we are born, may even before for some of us. Innate wisdom guides and protects us. Healers have it. Oh yes, we are all healers. Some of you may not realize you have the ability to heal yourself and heal others as well. My own body tells us so much without words. Another example is muscle testing on our own body. We're able to test virtually everything, asking if the object or substance, action or emotion is either good or bad, or whether it's in our best interest, all without words. Many therapies rely on either innate wisdom, muscle testing, or other forms of communicating without words. When a client comes to see me, I'm looking and feeling their energy. I'm listening to their body and their voice, and of course, their aura. All tell me something about them. Being able to communicate without words bypasses the client telling me what they think that I want to hear. Part of any practitioner's skill is not only treating, but listening and understanding the client. Don't forget, apps like Infinity transmit and communicate without words. They talk to the body through frequency. Yes, the body resonates to the frequency to trigger a change in both mind and body. Water is another transmitter of energy and frequency, all without words. We're able to program water in several different ways. Mediums use their ability to communicate without words. We all have this ability, but some of us need to develop the skill by having an open and accessible belief system, believing anything is possible. Sure, there are people who will shout, "It's phony, it's rubbish, you can't prove it, it's not possible." Do not let them trample on your belief system, because theirs does not exist. Their mind is not open, and they only believe in fiction, not fact. They choose not to understand what is beyond their ability to understand. Now, our mind is far more capable than we can possibly imagine. We can transmit our thoughts, our actions. We can heal remotely. There are many abilities which we have, but are unable, or we don't have the skills to fully utilize. We can heal someone the other side of the world. There is no limitations to our abilities, providing it is within our belief system. If we do not believe that we have the ability to do it, we can't do it. It does not matter which therapy, which desire we have, we must set intention for what we are doing, and we must believe anything, I repeat, anything is possible. Do not allow your belief system to be trampled on. We are all capable of far more than we believe in ourselves. We use excuses for not doing things. We shouldn't. There are possibilities, there are therapies, that enable us to do wonderful things to help ourselves and help others. I think that when we get together as a group of believers in ourselves, we can do wonderful things. The greater the number of people working to achieve greater things, the greater the chance of us establishing all that we would wish to do and make those changes. I hope that was of interest. I hope that it will influence you to believe in yourselves, to look at your belief system. We're not talking about anything that is given to any one religious grouping. Belief system is something which is universal. It is not tied to believing in anyone or anything. It's to do with believing in yourself and your own abilities to do wonderful things. Because our mind, our body has the capability of doing anything. We watch athletes doing amazing things. It isn't just a physical thing to be an athlete. It's knowing that you have the ability to do it and achieve the win, to achieve the gold medal. We don't have to be athletes to achieve wonderful things, to change our own mindset, to change the way our body works. We've got to have a belief system that all is possible and nothing is impossible. I hope that has made everybody think about themselves, about the way they believe in themselves, and the way that they look after themselves. Because quite simply, if you don't put the fuel in the body can't work, it can't function. If you do not drink the water, your body will become dehydrated. The toxins will not leave your body. So your belief system that if by what you do to your body, how you will help your body helps your immune system. We can do so much for ourselves and not rely on the medical profession solely as the cure. There is more to this world than allopathic medicine. There is so much more that goes back thousands of years, and much of it has to do with the belief system and the body's ability to communicate without words. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Victor. And it's so profound, isn't it? You know, and I think as, you know, we're moving into the higher dimensions, you know, you collectively, individually and collectively, you know, we're more aware of these connections in this way. You know, just, I don't know whether you want to call it psychic or just, you know, having the ability to share information in that way telepathically with each other.
We all have the ability to communicate telepathically. No matter what word you use, we have within our being the ability to communicate. We have an antennae, which is both a receiver and a transmitter. We transmit our thoughts. We may not see it, but take my word for it, and many others far more knowledgeable than I am, that we have this ability. And I know from personal experiences how I've influenced others, not using words at all. I've had incidents where people have said to me, such and such has happened. If I do not understand, I don't even attempt to understand why we have this ability to communicate between each other. It happens, whether we desire it or not. we communicate, and it is much to do. If we do not have a belief system that we believe in ourselves and our ability, we will not achieve anything. You've got to believe that you can achieve it, whether you're a student studying at any age on any subject. Before you start, if you do not have the belief that you can achieve your utmost, then you won't achieve it. If you start out by thinking you can't do it, you won't do it. If you start out by saying, I will win, I'm a winner, I will always be a winner, you will achieve everything. It is all goes back to the belief system that you were either born with or you developed as an infant, and that can be destroyed in your infancy, in your childhood, by what is going on around you. The people around you influence your mindset. We know that different stages of development affect the way we think, the way we question. Depending on what happens around us, our environment affects the belief system. But once we discover that we are masters of our own belief system, we can achieve anything. Anything is possible.
Thank you. Yeah, it's really such an exciting time to be on the planet right now, isn't it? And be able to, access information from source, so easily and so readily, and also to be able to communicate with each other in this way more effectively.
The greatest problem in this day and age is that we have been, or many people have been forced to rely on others who have their own belief system. And those others try to impose their belief system on us. Mm-hmm. And that is not of our choosing. We know emotions are inherited, and the inheritance can go back 20, 30, 40 generations. In an incident happening far back in time that is inherited by each generation. Now, these are communications without the spoken word. We pick up energies from those around us. So our great-great-grandparents had a certain experience, and their children will have picked up the good or bad energy from that situation. And that is implanted within them, and they carry it forward. So emotions are the unspoken word, and that is how we end up being who and what we are, which in the end effect is it changes our view on the world and our belief system. Because something that happened many, many years ago is affecting our outlook and our perspective on life. Reality does not exist. Everything is a perception. How do we perceive somebody in their actions and their deeds? It is just the way we interpret it, which is a perception of how they're living, walking, talking, thinking. We pick that up. We are expelling our thoughts, our actions, our emotions onto others. It penetrates their aura from our antennae to theirs. They pick it up. We know that if a group of people work together, their body clock starts to sync. We see it with women, we see it with groups of individuals that work together and their body clocks all synchronize. So again, it's another example of communication without words. Why is it? Why does it happen? You know, there may be a scientific reasoning, but it is communication from one individual to another, to another, to another within the group, whereby the bodies all start communicating without the words.
And we're getting very close to doing that, I think, don't you? I mean, I don't know about whether it's going to happen in our lifetime, but, you know, it's certainly, we're in the process, we're in the transition of that happening more and more. It's more.
I have met many very talented, very interesting, knowledgeable individuals, well educated, but they don't understand what it means, the way the body functions, the way the universe functions. Quite simply, they think they're in isolation. They do not realize we all have a link. We're all linked together in one way or another. We don't just meet or come into contact with individuals. It's destiny that we have some link, some means of communicating for a purpose. Everything has a purpose in this life, whether it's to teach us a lesson, good or bad. There is a reason to meet and communicate. We see people, we ignore people, we communicate with people, we like, we dislike. They have the same interests, we have the same interests. But when there is something that is the magnet that pulls individuals together for self-interest or wanting to help and guide somebody, the reason that we meet is to do exactly that. Whether they are in close proximity or the other side of the world, it's irrelevant. Distance is totally irrelevant. We can work and help and heal across vast oceans. It is, going back to last week when we were talking about intent, if we have that desire, that intent to help and work with people, it is all without words.
Love that. Thank you. Should we open this up for questions?
Yes.
Or discussion?
Let's do so.
I don't know if I'm going to be. Oh no, I can't do that, Victor. You have. You're the only one that can do it. You have full control.
Do I? Oh no! How do we do it? I haven't got a clue.
So if you go to the chat box,
there's the chat box.
See where it says chat right at the bottom, I think, of your screen. You see chat.
Let's get rid of this screen.
You might have to hover over it with your mouse.
Let's try and find something.
Either at the top or the bottom.
I'm trying to get back to the right. I'm on here. I'm here.
I can do request remote control.
Yeah, do that.
Request.
You can drive that better than I can.
Okay. Now I can. No, it's still not letting me. Oh, maybe because you didn't. I clicked on request remote control. Let me try it again.
Wait a minute, I've got something up here.
Yeah, that's it.
Right. Manage participants. Remote control. Right. Give, accept all requests. Let's see what that does. Hello.
No, I'm still not able to unmute the registrants, attendees. So I think you need to do it your end, Victor.
Yeah, I'm trying to find.
If you go to the chat, it's the only place you can do it from, I think, or participants.
I'm trying to find that. Let's just see what happens.
It'll either be right at the very top and you just hover your mouse and it will just...
I've just got the minimize screen.
Oh, yeah. First, you need to expand the screen.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Now it's back over to you.
Okay. I'm still not able to unmute anybody. Says I can control your screen, but I should be able to. Yeah, no, I'm not. Being able
Manage
to.
participants. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Then you should be able to just click on where their mic has got a red line through it. If you click on that, it will unmute.
Oh, unmute audio.
What? You're unmuted.
Uh-oh.
Hi, Donna, Marita.
Hi.
Yeah, hi.
Happy Easter.
Oh, thank you. We had a nice Easter, quiet, but yeah.
Lovely. Yeah, I know we were messaging each other yesterday, Donna and I, wishing each other happy Easter. But it's still Easter. Every day is about Christ and resurrection, and I hope I'm not offending anybody. I'm just
Exactly.
I thought it was Christmas. I don't know what day it is. With this lockdown, it could be any day.
Right. Well, we've got now till the middle of May in California. So, but it could be extended. We were told end of May, but then I think that was false news. It seems to be middle of May is more accurate. How about where all of you are?
It's fairly warm here, but it's been raining.
Uh-huh. But are you on lockdown until the middle of May?
Yeah, till the end of April anyhow. They haven't come out with another date yet.
Oh, okay. How about you, Connie? Connie?
Hi.
Hi, Connie. Thanks for joining us.
Sure.
Are you on lockdown till the middle of May?
I guess I don't really know what the date. It feels like it keeps changing. So, but yes, around then.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I know. There's so much that we can do on Zoom. I mean, we could be doing webinars all day long, every day.
We can have a Christmas party.
It's funny because we have dance parties on every Saturday at 1 p.m. Everyone can join, and it's so much fun. Yeah.
What kind of party?
It's just a dance party.
Oh.
Yeah, somebody, a very good friend, Zoe Lamour, and she does spiritual counseling. So her and her husband do this. Dance parties open to everyone. So anyway, people are getting very creative with Zoom. So
Yes.
do you have any questions for Victor, or anything you'd like to share about this communication without words?
I kind of joined a little late, and then I was, I'm sorry, I was kind of busy for a minute there, but no, I don't have any questions right now. It all sounds amazing.
Okay.
Did you find it of interest?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I didn't really get to hear much of it, but you know, the healing from a distance and all that, it's just amazing that we're antennas and they don't have limits. It's amazing. I'll have to re-listen to the recording from the beginning.
Okay. Yeah, everything's on the YouTube, Quantum Life YouTube channel. Once I can type into the chat box, let's see if I can do that now. I can give you that. No, I'm not able to do that right now. So once I regain control of that, I'll give you the YouTube channel so that you can watch the recordings.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Karen,
Donna, hi.
hi. Where does Victor study this, learn this?
Learn this. I've been a practitioner for well over 20 years. It could be even 30 years. I can't remember now. It goes back too far. I am a practitioner in 15, 18 different therapies. And I've studied vastly on all aspects of healing, well-being, the universe, and everything that's possibly linked to it over that period of time. My understanding has been gained through personal experience and also studying others that are more specialized in each given area. My knowledge is intended to be more general, to link all the different therapies and all the possibilities, link them all up together, rather than only concentrating on one area or another.
So do you work with different individuals?
I work with male, female, old, young, with both physical and emotional issues, you know, right across the board. You know, doesn't matter who you are or where you are. We tend to find that everyone throughout the world has very, very similar issues to deal with, whether it is health-wise or financial or emotional. You know, we're all human beings. When none of us are identical, but we all have similarities, which mean that we can help each other. And I can help individuals.
What kind of emotional things you deal with?
Everything from rape to relationship issues, anger issues, you name it.
PTSD, people with like the service?
Yes, yes.
Okay. What do you do with them? I'm sorry.
What do I do with them? Okay, we need to go back somewhat. When I first started studying, I realized at a very early stage that the silver bullet really does not exist. There is no one single therapy that overrides everything that is required to bring a human back to ground zero. What we tend to have to do is to look at each individual and not only go back to the trigger point of their issue and then work forward. And for many individuals, it may be incidents in their childhood. For others, it could be that we're going back in a relationship and their childhood has influenced their relationship. Others, it is because of an incident that occurred to them while in service, while living their normal life, that has dramatically changed who and what they are and how they react. Remember what I have said, that everything is a perception. Reality doesn't exist. It is the way that we as individuals perceive a situation, because not everybody will react in the same way to the same situation. We all interpret it in a slightly different form. And therefore, you cannot say that because somebody has PTSD, that we treat them all the same. We can't. we have to treat them as an individual and work on them to see how we can get to a base that they start to heal. Remember, it is their healing. It isn't that they can be helped and they can be guided, but it is the changes that they must make to their perception of their situation. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you. So you use different communication. You don't use vitamins or herbs or anything, correct?
As I say, each one is an individual.
Okay.
Each one is treated as an individual, because if there are 6 men in a troop and they encounter the same experience, whatever that may be, each will have a different perception of their personal circumstances. And that will have an impact on their life and how they perceive everything around them. In other words, what their fears are, what their trauma has been. You know, there are so many aspects of their being that will be changed by any given incident, that the 6 people in that troop that had the same experience will be affected in a slightly different way. So we've got to look at their health and well-being, and maybe they need nutrition, maybe they need something else, or do they need work on their cognitive aspect of to change their mindset from being a participant in the emotional incident to a memory. So it goes from an emotion back to a memory. You remember it, you don't end up with heart racing, adrenaline pumping, and all the other trauma aspects to the human body. It's a memory. You remember it happened, you won't forget it, but it will not have that same emotional impact that it has at present.
So if you give them the ability to access a memory in a more positive manner cognitively, is that what you're saying?
Yes, we change their perception of their situation, their experience, and how they move forward. So in other words, if every time you think of situation A, we take it from that emotion, we take it to a memory, so that you do not experience the same type of bodily functions of a trauma, but when it's a memory, you think about it and you do not feel emotional about it.
You don't let yourself have the same emotions, or I'm not sure I understand, sorry.
Yeah, we take the emotion out of the incident that is triggering the PSD or whatever else that is the issue.
Now, what do you do to have them remember in a different manner like that?
We use a variety of therapies, including EFT and other types of emotional reducing cognitive therapies.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that explanation.
You know, it may be that part of the issue is a nutritional problem. It may be the body isn't functioning as it should do. It may be purely emotion that keeps rising up. So, you know, to generalize for any client, any individual, is not the right way to go about it, because that's what happens in the world of allopathic medicine. You go in with a headache, doesn't matter what's caused the headache, they give you a headache pill. That isn't the way that I work and many others work. You don't want to get rid of the symptoms, you want to get rid of the cause. If you diminish the cause of the headache, you don't get another headache.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the concept of the three selves. It's actually of ancient Hawaiian origin, I do believe. But it's where the basic self, like, you know, to have the alignment with the three selves is being in one accordance with God, or, you know, source, you know, divine, that divine lineage. And so when we our basic selves is kind of like, metaphorically speaking, kind of like our inner child, but not, and we can have more than one basic self. And it's, you know, it's really about like nurturing the basic self to keep that connection strong with the conscious self and the high self. Obviously the high self brings in, you know, the information to keep us on track spiritually, and then the conscious self translates that information. And it's really about like integrity and loving. You know, when the basic self feels loved and nurtured, you know, it does everything it needs to do to take care of our bodies. But if it doesn't feel that nurturing and that loving, it will kind of go astray, and it will look outside to, you know, and to form relationships. Usually it will seek a relationship with another because it's feeling that, you know, that disconnection with the conscious self. So I maybe just somehow kind of bring that into this. I don't know. Victor, do you have any experience with that? It's kind of like mind, body, spirit connection in a sense.
It is. We, as I probably in the first paragraph, we are complex. As human beings, we are complex beings. There are so many aspects of us that they all interact with each other. We can't separate out each aspect of us as humans because it's all one and the same. You know, the electrical circuitry is the same as a chemistry factory, is the same as the mind, it's the same as the body. We're not in the allopathic world where they treat the body as a machine. That doesn't work. But our belief system allows us to be free and unhindered by any boundaries. It enables us to heal in a particular way. Remember, the body has this brilliant ability to heal. We don't have to tell our cut in our hand, our injury, to heal up. It heals up without any intervention. Our mind can heal, but sometimes there are hurdles. There are, yes, hurdles that stop us being able to heal, whether it is emotionally, mentally, physically, and we have to remove the hurdle to allow us to heal. Now, you can interpret that in a million different ways. And in my particular view on it, because I see such a wide variety and have seen such a wide variety of individuals, that if their belief system, whether they are believe in a particular religion, I've got to step to one side and treat them as an individual with their own issues in a particular way that will not interfere with their beliefs. And now they may have no beliefs, or they may have very, very confined beliefs. And, you know, it is for them to, they are adults. We are all adults. We make our own decisions. We've got to use our own mind, our own decision making to decide on what we wish to do or what we don't wish to do. You know, I can help and advise, but whoever's accepting that help and advice has to make the decision whether it is right for them and whether it is as you described, Karen, or as I interpret it, purely because of confines of what I do and who I see. It's a matter of choice. But neither are right and neither are wrong. They are just a slightly different view of it interpretation of it, but at the end of the day, they do the same thing.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. It's just, I guess there's, you know, different perceptions, different, metaphorically, there's just different ways of seeing the mind, body, spirit connection, huh?
Correct. Correct. It's nice to think that we could treat everybody in the same way. You know, somebody comes in and we give them such and such a therapy. Next one comes in, we give them the same. Something that I have learned is that that is not possible.
Yeah.
Because everyone is an individual and they all have their own perceptions, their interpretations of their situation, and what they find acceptable and unacceptable as in the way of a therapy presented to them. Men tend to be, and this is a generalization, their acceptance of certain therapies appear to be different than females.
Very. Uh-huh. That would be a great webinar. Maybe we could do that next week, Victor, if you're up for it.
For me, you know, everyone said, you know, I get a client that they phone up and say, I've got a bad back. You know, what therapy? No, you're coming to see Victor Kendal, and Victor Kendal will put you right and do the right thing. I don't ever propose that I'm a scalar therapist, I'm a laser therapist, I'm a EFT therapist. I'm not. I'm a healer at the end of the day, but I happen to use 15, 18, 20 different therapies depending on the individual that I'm confronted with.
Yeah, it's amazing that you have all those tools and all those skills. I mean, that takes a lot of dedication. You must have a lot of knowledge as well as experience with all that you do.
The big problem comes that stuff I learned 20 odd years ago, some of it I can't remember, literally. And I come to do it, and things happen automatically. I don't think this is what I have to do. It just happens.
I can't mute everybody. If you won't mind doing that, please, Victor.
Sorry?
If you could please mute Connie.
Why is she barking?
I don't know, but there's background noise and I don't know who it is. I don't know whether Donna, is that yours or is that Connie's?
No, it's not us.
Ours is silent.
Oh, it's Connie. Okay, it's okay. Connie muted her, so she heard. Thank you, Connie. Yeah. So what do you think, Victor, next week?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Good.
I'm willing to tackle anything.
Okay. I love that.
I'm open and, you know, and more than happy to try and encourage people to think about their own health and well-being and how they can help others as well. And there are a million tools available for people to heal mind and body, and of the direction that they choose, whether it is unhindered by their beliefs, whether religious or any other. It is entirely up to them, and it is their choice. They are adults, and they need to make that choice of how they wish to move forward. If they wish to stagnate and remain as they are, I'm happy with that. It's not for me to comment or to be prejudicial over what they choose to do or not do. You know, we have got to remember that we as humans have the ability to heal, and we can heal ourselves quite easily. But if we haven't got the wherewithal, the knowledge, then others are available to help and assist them. In this day and age, with coronavirus and millions of other things around us,
Whispering? Yeah.
We, people need that guidance. If you are not drinking water and you don't realize that water will make a significant difference to your health, then by somebody telling you you should be drinking water could save your life. If it is that somebody doesn't understand that they need to ground themselves on a regular basis, that could make a difference and change their life. So, I've got the knowledge, I've got the ability, I'm prepared to offer that. Whether people accept it and follow through with it, they're adults. They make their own decisions. Some people think I'm crazy, dumb, or whatever. Other people think it's quite a good suggestion. It's up to them.
Yeah, it starts right there, doesn't it? With the willingness, wanting to heal, taking on the responsibility to do that, to do the work that it takes. And then only then can that happen, the healing.
I always say, people say to me, well, can I deal with depression? Depression is a state of mind. We all, I think, agree with that. But it is a change of perception of our situation in life. That's what depression is. We're not talking about clinical depression. We're talking about the majority which don't have clinical depression. They are just down, and it is their perception of their situation. It is the glass half empty or half full scenario. So somebody changing their perception can work on it and achieve or lose that sense of depression because they've changed their perception of their situation. If it's clinical depression, that is something else.
Yeah, I would love to speak with you more about this, Victor, because I created a Facebook page a while ago called Self-Awareness for Mental Health. Oh, for everyone, self-awareness for everyone, but it's really designed for mental health. My brother's a psychiatric doctor, and it's like people don't even know. A lot of people don't know that they're depressed, or that there's other mental issues that they could really benefit from working on. And so for us to first have that awareness, okay, I have something that I need to be more aware of and find the best tools to be able to deal with it. And so it seems like that's something that you specialize in and probably enjoy working with, is it?
I enjoy helping anybody.
I know.
I don't say I will only do this or I only do that, I only see this, only see that. I give you a typical example, and I spoke about it last week. A lady came in with a little boy, came into the clinic and said to me, this is my son. I think my memory serves me right, he was 7 or 8 years old. And the story was that the mother and father had parted. They had divorced, I think they divorced. The mother had a new partner, the father had a new partner. That partner had 2 children of her own. And this little boy felt bereft. He felt as if he'd been deserted, and it had affected him emotionally to a very bad state of mind. So they said, is there anything you can do to help him? And I said, look, I will try. I said, I can't make promises. I never make promises. We'll see where we go. But he came to see me 3 times. And I'd worked on him. And I think if my memory serves me right, we worked with EFT. And because I do other stuff under the counter, more or less, I'd worked on him. And next thing I know, the mother had come in with the son and said, I don't think, she came in by herself, I think. She said, I don't know what you did with my son, but he isn't the same child. Did you swap him out? So I said, tell me more. The school saying they don't recognize him. He has changed beyond recognition. He's no more trouble at school. He's getting down learning. He's now having a good relationship with the father's partner and her two children. And the whole situation for this little boy had changed. And I think my memory serves me about 3 sessions. Now, a situation like that makes you feel really, really good because you were able to stop something in its track before it got out of hand. And that type of scenario is not unusual for many practitioners. It's not just unique to myself, but I believe it isn't just the therapy that you provide, it is something else that is unseen, that while you're working, other things are going on. So when people say, what therapy did you use? It isn't just that therapy. You can't go out and just learn that therapy and achieve what I achieved and others achieved, because there is something else that goes on over and above that therapy. Whether it's healing, whether it's whatever you want to call it, it happens.
Yeah, what happens? Oh, it's after 3 now. What time is it?
Thank you.
You don't have it there.
No, no.
Yeah, does anybody else have any questions for Victor or anything they'd like to share?
I think I go back to what I originally said.
Okay.
Believe in yourself, move forward, seek help when you're not able to make the changes yourself, and remember that as a human being, we have far more ability than we can possibly imagine.
Yeah, it's so true. Yeah, we underestimate that ability for the most part, don't we? I mean, we are such powerful beings, or, you know, we do recognize, but then the ego steps in. I mean, the purpose of the ego is to serve the soul, isn't it? And sometimes the ego gets a little, like, you know, needs to be kept in check and realize that it's, you know, its only purpose is here to, you know, provide a vehicle for the soul to do the work here. So it takes, you know, a lot of work or constant work managing and, you know, managing that process.
The ego gets in the way of the healing.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's the ego of the healer, and we're not really healers. We're just a conduit for things to happen.
Yes.
Whether you're receiving it and think that you are better than what is being offered or given to you, it is that ego. If you do not remove the ego, you will not achieve the healing, whether it's emotional, physical, whatever. You know, you've got to believe, you've got to have a positive outlook, because positivity will make your body, and positivity comes under the same umbrella as yoga, for example, and general exercise, anything that is changing the chemistry in the body, because the body isn't just simply a machine. A great deal of aspects of the universe, our life, everything else influences the way the body functions. You get angry, the body becomes acidic. You have a wonderful relationship, you do yoga, there are lots of things that will make the body alkaline. And just by changing your outlook, what you do to help yourself and help others changes the chemistry, the alkalinity, the acidity of the body, which will stop the healing or enhance the healing.
Yeah, this is such important information. Thank you, Victor.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess we better wrap this up, and more for next week. And we're going to start creating custom panels too and giving them away as a gift, you know, to all that join us on these webinars. So we'll create one together. That will be a fun process actually to work on together.